Hi there, I'm Chun Yu from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, and for today we will talk about how to use Google Earth to create polygonal KMLs that can be loaded into Uniview. And before we jump into that, I am going to switch my view to my desktop so that you can see what I am doing. And I have Google Earth started up already. And one reason that you might want to do this is in one of our programs, we wanted to create a weather map showing where fronts were and creating arrows showing the movement of air over the entire continent. And so in order to do that, we needed to be able to draw a bunch of arrows as well as a bunch of polygonal shapes to show the fronts. And so that's just one example, and hopefully that will inspire you to think about other ways in which you might be able to use this feature. And since we don't have time to create anything really complicated, what I would do is just show you how we might do something like this. And so let's go ahead, and we've zoomed into a totally random place, Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I'm going to come up to the row of icons at the top of Google Earth. And there's one that says Add Polygon, so I will click on it, and you see this tool box come up, and I will just call this the Las Vegas Polygon, and I will now encircle Las Vegas, New Mexico with a gigantic polygon, and this is pretty arbitrary, so every time I click on this, you can see that I add another vertex to the polygon, and if I'm happy with this, I can close this. I can, of course, change the line and area color. So if I wanted the line color to be, let's say, red, and I also wanted the line thickness to be wider, and I can also decide whether I want the polygon to be filled, to be just outlined, or to be filled and outlined. So if I want it to be just outlined with no fill, I can do that. I can also, of course, change the color and also change the transparency. So that's what these numbers over here are for. And then one other thing that I can do is if I wanted to edit the points, I can move my mouse cursor until it changes to a hand shape. And you can see that once it does that, I can then actually drag the point around like that. I can also delete a point by hitting the delete button once the point is selected. And if I put my cursor over the middle of that segment, I should be able to add a point too. So basically, using this feature, you should be able to create relatively complicated polygons to, let's say, outline a lake or outline some other area that you want to show. And once I do that, I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to save this object as a separate KML. And so let's go ahead and save it as a KMZ, Las Vegas Polygon, and it will get saved to my desktop. That's where I've been saving my Google Earth files. And if I open up Uniview and open up the user folder, I can then drag this KML into the KML objects folder. And inside Uniview, I can then open up the KML. And we're looking at the nighttime side of the Earth, but when I zoom down, surrounding Las Vegas, New Mexico, is our polygon. So that's how you can use Google Earth to create a polygon KML for Uniview. Thank you.